Hello and welcome to yet another quartz-controlled episode of the Audiophile Man. And what have we got for you this time around? A new turntable from Dual, the 618Q, an automatic. Well, no, not quite. Not fully automatic. Hardly automatic. But we'll get to that. Now, I was immediately interested in this turntable because of two things. Firstly, it's a quartz-stabilized direct drive. Secondly, the drive itself has not been bought in. Dual made it themselves. The drive itself, it's nippy and has a quick response. And there are 3 speeds to select, including 78 from an easy access rotary knob on the near right of the MDF plinth, presented in either walnut, gloss or ash black. A 12-volt wall-wart switch mode power supply gives it power. That also moves the cast aluminium platter, which holds the basic rubber mat atop. On the right is a straight tubed tone arm with an angled head shell. Hanging off is an Autophon 2M Blue, which is a nice touch because many companies would have made do with a 2M Red, even at this price. The blue is a much better performer. The CS618Q is, for want of a better word, a quarter automatic. That is, the platter only rotates when the tone arm is swung onto the edge of the vinyl disc. That combines with an auto stop lift action on the other end. The auto feature, or auto features I should say, can be defeated with a switch on the rear. Also on the rear is the access to the built-in phono amplifier, plus a barrel socket for the power supply. Now, before we get to the sound testing, I just want to add 2 points. Firstly, this is not just a turntable, it is a package, and I'm here to review that package. You pay for the cartridge in this box. It comes already fitted, and most buyers of this turntable will never change it. So, it will not be changed for this review. Actually, I may change the cartridge in the future with an aim to improve the sound, but that will be classed as a modding upgrade feature and not a straight review. Second point, this turntable is not a hardcore audiophile design. Hence, this review is not just about the sound quality. For this particular design, buyers will see sound quality as important, sure, but also maybe secondary to ease of use, to convenience and quality of life. If all you care about is sound quality, look elsewhere for a true manual turntable, even within Dual's own catalogue. Now, because this turntable features an internal phono amplifier, plus there are extra parts that initialize and control the automatic drive facilities and the like, all of those extra pieces will add micro vibrations to this design, and they will mask fine detail to an extent. To what extent, we'll find out. Even so, when judging this Dual design, you will need to see the bigger picture. This turntable is for vinyl fans who value functionality, demand, practicality, and insist on ease of use. The requirement for convenience is primary here, the most important part of the overall design. Oh, and while you're about it, a decent sound would be good too. That's how this review will be approached. So, speaking of sound quality, how does this thing sound? And despite what I've just said, let's put the sound quality into some kind of context, shall we? Just how good or bad is the sound quality? Well, I brought in a Pro-Ject EVO to find out. This is a hardcore audiophile turntable, and it has 0 convenience features. This is partly why the EVO still stands alone at this price point in terms of sound quality. I did not expect the 618Q to best it. In fact, I expected the Dual to hit a rather poor second place, way behind the Pro-Ject. For this test in software terms, I grabbed me a little bit of Ennio Morricone on the Cinevox label called La Casa Comica, which features female vocal noises, orchestral strings, a little bit of bass guitar, some harpsichord, percussion, piano, and a whole lot more. So what did I think of the sound? Well, overall, I do prefer the EVO in terms of low noise performance. There's more air and space around the mids and the treble. Tonal realism, I prefer that too. Saying that, I was surprised by the Dual. The EVO does not have things all its own way. Transient performance on the Dual is absolutely superb. What I'm talking about here is the starting and the stopping of notes. The Dual turns on a sixpence. There is zero blur or any smearing of notes here, which means music, well, it moves at a clip and never drags. On that score, the Dual is superior to the EVO. The Dual is also superior in bass terms. Now, I have to explain this. On the Dual, bass is not cavernous. It is not humongous. But there is extra weight here. It's actually tonally more interesting, more realistic, you might say. There is extra foundational strength. There is a sense of grip to the bass. Associated with that, you could thus argue that tonal balance on the Dual is also superior to the EVO. Considering that the 618Q is not a hardcore audiophile design, well, all of that is pretty impressive indeed. So I swapped my reference, went a little bit more with a like-for-like comparison. This time I brought in a design from Fluance, rather cheaper, rather lower cost. I picked the RT83. This features the same sort of automatic features as the Dual, plus a built-in phono amplifier, and yes, another autophon, this time the 2M Red. And again, that's part of the Fluance package, and that's why I'm using that cartridge. Now, in this comparison, I wondered if the Dual could possibly serve as a suitable upgrade for fans of the Fluance and other similar turntables of a lower price point. So I grabbed a copy, the latest pressing actually, of the Yes album, Close to the Edge, and I played the title track. And I did notice that the Fluance suffered from the same reduction of space in the mids when compared to the EVO, while the transients from the Fluance were a lot softer than the Dual. The Fluance uses a basic third-party belt-driven motor. The Dual, in comparison, sounded precise and very focused indeed. The Dual also had a more impressive bass response. The Fluance wasn't bad by any means, but the Dual had both weight and punch and a real control of the lower frequencies. Combine that with that wonderful transient performance I mentioned from the direct drive motor, and the performance itself overall from the Dual was again impressive. The Dual offered a real snappy, finger-clicking performance. In short, the 618Q would serve as a fine upgrade from the lower cost automatics like the Fluance. Next, well, a quick word on the internal phono amplifier which is present inside the Dual. It's okay. It's fine. I much prefer an external phono amplifier which will add increased air and space to the mids, giving the bass more structure and focus. So if you're short of cash, use the internal model, grab an external one ASAP. And while we're on that subject, some little hints and tips for future upgrades. Just note that the Dual is easily upgradable, and I would recommend a better platter mat. I do not like the rubber mat included in the box. It's bog standard. It doesn't do the turntable any favors at all. Best option, if cash is tight but you still want to spend a little bit, grab a Stack Audio Serene. You will not regret it. I would also recommend some shelving, some good quality shelving. Put the turntable on an isolation platform, a bit like the TCI Podium 3 I reviewed recently, link above. Also on the top, look at the Stack Audio Serene puck. or the Origin Live Gravity one, and again that will increase sound quality. A better head shell would be a recommended change too. Oh, and finally, I recommend all of those upgradable little bits and bobs before you change the cartridge. The cartridge is decent, so give the cartridge room to really fly before you even think of changing it. And that, my friends, is a review of the dual CS618Q quarter automatic, I suppose you'd call it, turntable. Let me give you a few final thoughts, have a few of those. I will give you some pros and cons during that time, and a rating. So, question is, should you buy the dual CS618Q as your next audiophile turntable? No, you shouldn't. As I say, that's not why it was built. That's not the target audience. Should you buy a dual CS618Q if you're looking for a combination of sound quality with convenience features? Absolutely yes. The dual offers a low maintenance direct drive turntable. There are no belts to mess around with, no belts to go weird on you in the future and you have to mess about replacing those and setting those up. None of that hassle. There's an auto stop. There's the auto arm lift feature at the end of play. You get your built-in phono amplifier. There's a cartridge supplied, already fitted, already set up, plus lots of little friendly bits and bobs like the rotary knob to select your speed. And the sound is very nice indeed. So you get a great balance between facilities and performance. It is an ideal upgrade if you already own a similar low-cost turntable. The CS618Q is a no-fuss, no-hassle design that remains solid enough in sound terms to still turn a few heads. Which is why I have no hesitation in giving the dual 618Q turntable an award-winning rating. I'm going to give it a groovy, an 8 out of 10. Congratulations to Dual. And that's your lot, folks. Thanks for staying to the end of this particular video. Before you go, can you downstairs click on the like and subscribe buttons, please? It just helps the old channel, you know, all that kind of thing. I have some links below. I'll put a link to this turntable, to Dual itself. I will put a link to my Facebook group, which you're welcome to join, my website, which you can check out. It's got lots of stuff over there. And also my Patreon page, which has the exclusive Hi-Fi News, etc. videos, plus some buyer's guides, lots of features, lots of goodies really, hundreds and hundreds of things. So check that out too, if you would. I'll be back next week. I'll be back probably, I'm overdue music alerts, aren't I? So I might have one, even two, I don't know. But I think we need to go music alerts next week. So that might be, I don't know, Friday or Saturday. Depends on the heavens. So hope to see you then. Hope to have your, what is it called? Your company. Mine went blank. Hope to have your company. Until then, folks, bye-bye for now.